Alrighty guys, well, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today is the weekly Star Wars recap for January 5th, 2026, which it's been a couple months since the last one, but now it's the new year, and so I'm just going to kind of quickly go over everything what happened since the last weekly Star Wars recap, and then kind of talk about some update stuff and whatnot. There's some new releases. I'm just going over what came out last week and then coming out this week. Last week there was Boba Fett Black, White, and Red Issue 4 and Hyperspace Stories The Bad Batch Rogue Agents Issue 1, which I haven't read, but coming out this week is Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon Issue 5 and Hyperspace Stories Tides of Terror Issue 4, which both come out January 7th, 2026. But let's quickly recap everything, what's happened. First, a Mandalorian and Grogu teaser trailer was released, which I've done a breakdown, which you can watch. The next film after that, Star Wars Starfighter, has wrapped filming, as Sean Levy announced on social media with an image of him on set. The original Star Wars film will return to theaters in the original theatrical version on February 18th, 2027 for the 50th anniversary of the film, so no special edition changes. It will be the original version of the film. 2 new video games were announced. First, a spiritual successor to the KOTOR games titled Fate of the Old Republic, with Casey Hudson returning to direct that game. And also a racing game titled Galactic Racing was also revealed. A few novels were also announced. One titled Star Wars Legacy, which will follow Rey and Leia in between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. And also a new YA romance novel titled Eyes Like Stars was also announced. But to jump into some comic news, Dark Horse announced a new miniseries which will return to the High Republic era titled The High Republic Adventures Pathfinders, which will be set after the events of Phase 2 of the High Republic. But on the Marvel side of things, all of the current ongoing series will be coming to an end, as Star Wars and Jedi Knights will end with its 10th issue, and Legacy of Vader will end with its 12th, and the Dr. Aphra series kind of came to a very abrupt end a couple months ago with its 5th issue. Also coming from Marvel will be a new Jar Jar Binks one-shot comic releasing in February, and then a new Darth Maul-focused miniseries titled Shadow of Maul, which will tie directly into the upcoming animated series Maul Shadow Lord, will be coming with its first issue releasing in March. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. There's probably some other stuff I missed, but I felt like that was most of the bigger news. So yeah, but now let me just kind of talk about some updates and whatnot. Obviously, last year I didn't do much. Really definitely past the month of April. I didn't plan for that to happen, but it's what happened. So yeah, really plans right now. Really want to catch up on a bunch of stuff. Definitely all the Disney Plus stuff I haven't done. Obviously, Andor Season 2 I need to do reviews of. And several of the other shows and whatnot. Obviously, the big thing this year is going to be The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out in May. Obviously, then Ahsoka Season 2 will most likely come out later in the year, along with Maul Shadow Lord, the animated series also. But leading up to The Mandalorian and Grogu, I do want to do a Mandalorian rewatch series, which I was supposed to have the first episode out already of that, but I haven't done that yet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that came out yesterday. But I wanted to do that, Tuesdays and Fridays, leading up to the release of the new movie. Which also I wanted to do new reviews for all the previous movies. Obviously I've done them before, but just wanted to kind of do new ones, as it's been some time now since I last did them. So I kind of wanted to start doing that. I think it would be probably the beginning of March, doing one every Friday. So along with this Mandalorian rewatch and all that. So that's kind of my plan right now for that. And then obviously, like I said, doing a bunch of catch up on, obviously, the Disney Plus stuff is my main priority. And then obviously a lot of the publishing stuff. Obviously publishing like the comics, I do issue by issue reviews. I don't know if I'll continue doing that or not. I might kind of just go to just doing the volume, trade paperback release reviews. I don't know. That's something I'm up in the air about. Obviously there's the High Republic stuff, which I'm still doing like phase 2 stuff. So I'd say after I catch up with Disney Plus stuff, I do want to definitely just get all that done. Not fully sure how I will go about it with like High Republic phase 3 because it's all out and there's a crap ton of comic issues. Definitely from Dark Horse, which obviously I definitely think the Dark Horse ones I'll definitely just do by whatever trade paperback volume releases they did. I'll say I do want to continue doing video game playthroughs. Obviously last year I did I had Star Wars Outlaws releasing. Star Wars Outlaws, I finished it. I did the first DLC. And then the hard drive I had all the footage stored on died on me, so I lost all of that. And I can easily get, because I had individual save slots forever at the end of every like recording session I did. So I can get to the exact spot where I need to be at, but it's just a lot. Honestly, it was just because obviously I lost all that footage. Also during it, because I was playing on PS5, legitimately while I was recording, my PlayStation died on me. So it just was a cursed playthrough, so I don't know. I haven't even played the second DLC. I haven't even installed it, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll continue it or not. Obviously, not Star Wars, but I did do a playthrough of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which there was the DLC, which I do want to play that still, so I'll probably do that. That'll be a quick one. And then, obviously, KOTOR, I did start up with one part last year, so I do want to continue that. And obviously, there'll be new games like Zero Company and Galactic Racer maybe coming this year, so... And I'm quite looking forward to Zero Company, so I definitely do want to do that. So yeah, but the biggest change I am going to be making is with this show right here, as this is going to be the final episode of the weekly Star Wars recap, as I'll be transitioning it into the monthly Star Wars recap, which it's going to be basically the same format, just a month-to-month show where I'll kind of go over all the new releases from the past month and what's coming in the next month, and then kind of talking about all the news, what happened, kind of similar to what I did for the news part of this, but obviously a lot more in-depth. I just kind of did sentence by sentence there, because also the main reason is I just don't do this series weekly ever. I think the last time I did 4 straight weeks in a row of this show was in 2023, and maybe even before that, so I just haven't been actually weekly with this show, and so I'm going to kind of make it a monthly thing now, so I'll just be doing it at the end/beginning of each month. So the first one will probably come out, the January 2026 recap will maybe the 31st, maybe, but could sneak into the first week of February. I don't know, depends when I get it done, but that's my plan for now. Obviously, I'm going to kind of keep it maybe on a trial basis, seeing if I like doing it more that way. But I very well could just switch back to doing it this way, or just kind of doing it whenever I feel like it, which is kind of how I've been doing it, so I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, that's really it. I've talked about this for years, about doing a series where I talk about non-Star Wars stuff, so just non-Star Wars movies, video games, TV, and all that, but I just haven't done it, so maybe I'll do it this year. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah. Anyways, this week hopefully I will get those Mandalorian rewatch episodes out, and hopefully some Disney Plus stuff also, and whatever else. But I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.